In Midland County, thousands are still struggling to cope with the devastation from the collapse of two dams, one of which had a long history of safety problems.
Our state is in charge of regulating more than 1,000 dams, many not in great shape right now. In 2018, the American Society of Civil Engineers rated Michigan's dams as C-.
Tonight, the 7 investigators are digging into just how good of a job the state is doing to prevent another dam failure from devastating so many lives.
7 investigator Ross Jones joins us live tonight. So, Ross, what have you uncovered?
Carol and Alan, good evening. High hazard dams in Michigan are supposed to be inspected every 3 years. The one behind me, it passed. But as we found out, for too many dams, those inspections are years and years overdue.
We know that there are a lot of people who've lost everything.
It's been 78 days since the Edenville and Sanford dams failed in Midland County, leading to thousands of homes lost and more than $200 million in damages.
We've had friends who've had to kayak to their place just to check it out and see the devastation.
Their houses are gone and just they can't live in them.
The Edenville Dam collapsed after repeated failures by the feds and more recently the state to bring its owner into compliance. In Michigan, owners are supposed to have their dam inspected every few years. For significant hazard dams that would lead to a loss of property if they failed, it's every 4 years. For high hazard dams where failure could lead to death, it's every 3.
A good regular inspection program is important because it enables you to know if there's anything developing.
But across the state, we found that 18 high or significant hazard dams haven't submitted an inspection report in at least 6 years. Some date back more than 20. At Minnetonka Lake, just north of Mount Pleasant, the Walker Creek Dam No. 2 hasn't been inspected since 2009. That's because, according to the association that owns it, it wouldn't pass an inspection. The dam partially failed a decade ago, is now listed in poor condition, and today, owners say they can't afford to replace it. 370 families live on the lake. There's the Baldwin Fish Hatchery Dam in Lake County. It's listed in unsatisfactory condition and hasn't been inspected in 9 years. The owner did not respond to the state when they asked for the overdue inspection. In fact, 10 dam owners have ignored the state's requests.
That's alarming, right? We need to get inspection reports for them, and we are working to do that.
But are regulators going too easy on dam owners? Luke Trumbull is a dam safety engineer for EGLE, the Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy, which regulates the Portage Plant Dam, currently listed in poor condition.
It's an older dam. There is deteriorated concrete and lack of maintenance and things like that need to be addressed.
But the owner hasn't submitted an inspection report since 2002.
And that owner has been out of compliance for years, right?
Yes.
Has he ever been fined?
I don't know if he's been fined.
Well, he hasn't. In fact, EGLE couldn't find an example of a single fine they'd handed out to any dam owner in the last decade.
If a dam owner is not showing up to the table, I don't know how you can justify keeping that going.
Representative Aaron Miller lives not far from the Portage Plant Dam and says the state needs to use all the tools in its toolbox. If fines don't work, they should take more severe action.
And if they can't pay the fines, just like someone who doesn't pay their property tax eventually gets foreclosed on, that needs to be a route that EGLE takes.
EGLE says they're more interested in gaining compliance than fining dam owners. When inspection reports don't show up, they sometimes send their own inspectors to at least visually inspect a dam. But it's not an easy job when the entire dam safety inspection team is just 2 people in charge of more than 1,000 dams. To Senator Rosemary Bayer, that's unacceptable.
We just don't have enough resources to be able to be proactive. 2 people on dams, they're spread so thinly.
And as Michigan grapples with a mammoth budget hole caused by COVID-19, finding more money to help regulate our aging infrastructure seems unlikely. Until that changes, those living near dams whose inspections never came will have to cross their fingers.
We ought to have better enforcement. If there is a dam on the trouble list, do we want to wait till another Edenville happens?
And as we were putting this story together, the state announced they were going to expand the dam safety team, but not by much. It'll be growing from 2 safety engineers to 3. We're live in Westland tonight. I'm Ross Jones, 7 Action News.
Ross, it's just hard to believe that someone can go 18 years without an inspection and nothing happen?
It is very hard to believe, and it's harder to believe that they haven't been fined in that time, but the state says they don't want to fine people, they just want to convince them to get these inspections done, and I think we're all for that, but obviously in 18 some years the convincing hasn't worked.
Yeah, so they're going to have to get on that more than just increasing the inspectors to 3, but I know you'll stay on it. Thank you so much, Ross.